Girl,
Yes. Christine, we are live. It's been a while, right? So let's get our intro going and let's get started and get right into some business, okay?
yes.
Living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter. But I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Ooh, mountain, we gon' walk it out, and mountain. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up. I'll like the
Surprise! I added some elements, I like to do things, you know how it
Of
is, right?
course, of
Yes,
course. Never a
right.
dull moment with you, Cheryl.
So Christine, welcome, welcome. It has been a while. I know we both have been busy doing stuff and all of that. So let me get started. I am Cheryl Diane Suing. I'm an international keynote speaker, image consultant, author, trainer, and I wear many hats. I want to say I'm a good friend to a couple of ladies as well. And this is
Christine Francois, wellness coach, former banker, corporate communications executive, and really focused on helping women 45 years and over get in the best shape of their lives. Why did I say wife? Did I want to be a wife? Getting into the best shape of their lives and feeling vibrant and energized in their sexiest best self.
wow. Yes. So today's topic is a bit of a maybe a little controversial, but it's been on my mind. I did a live earlier today. Of course, I got up late. It's a public holiday, so I got up late and I was supposed to do it at 11 o'clock. So 11:01, I jumped off and he said, I'm going to do it anyway. And I used my avatar because we have many ways to do things. So I didn't put my face on camera. It was live, but I used my avatar. And this morning I said, I am a woman. I'm claiming who I am. And I spoke on that for about 20 minutes because I am a woman. There's so much talk in the media right now about what is a woman. I don't even understand why that's a question, to be honest with you. I don't know who's interfering with people. I am not. And I'm sure many, many thousands of women all over the world really not interfere with anybody else. Be who you want to be. Why are we under attack? And my thing is to women, us who are women, who know we are women, I don't have to fight to say that we are women. We need to get a little more supportive. You know, like I said earlier today, and I wrote about it a couple of days ago on LinkedIn. We spent Women's History Month talking about embracing equity. So we want
Correct.
to embrace equity, meaning we want to be on par with men in terms of jobs and everything else. And I have absolutely no problem where that is concerned. But the thing is, I think we need to embrace each other a little bit more. And can we not see how much in danger we are? When I listen to some of these, and I know I listen more than you do, Christine. When I listen to some of these YouTubers and some of them in mainstream media talk about on this topic, I'm seeing like signs that we saw in the old movies, because we're not old enough to know about those things. That is history, where they had bathrooms for blacks or colored, bathroom for whites,
Mhm.
and women had to fight so hard to be able to vote. I see us going back in that era and then further back as well, further down the road, you know. Because I mean, why is that a question? What is a woman? Who's asking that question? Why is that question being asked? Right? I said, and I would hold fast it, that I am a Christian, not just by going to church. I'm a Christian by biblical principles. And my biblical principles said to me that God allows us. He allowed Job. He allowed David. He allowed them to do what they need to do, right? He allows us. So do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, each of us will have to give account for ourselves. Each of us have to answer. So if you feel you're right, then be right. If you're right and you feel what you're doing is right, then go right ahead. Who is interfering with you? I think the provocation comes from when there starts to be confrontation because I might say, I'm a woman and I know I'm a woman. And I offend somebody. Why should I offend somebody? Why should my truth offend you when you are trying to live in your truth? What you say is your truth. If that's your truth, then stand up and live in your truth. Live in your truth and allow me to live in my truth. I remember some time ago, Adele won an award and she said it was a great time to be a woman and she was attacked for that. And the topic keep going on and on and on and on. And I know that I am a micro YouTuber with very few things, so a little very like non-existent in the YouTube community. Literally. But the people who have thousands and hitting the million mark and all kinds of things. Right, fine. And maybe I'll get there if God wants it to. Or maybe I'll just stay being a YouTuber who will come and give my views to if you want to listen to my voice. But the thing is, I am not going to sensationalize my channel with all kinds of rubbish. I let people live. You want to live? That's your live. Your name is Christine and my name is Sharon, right? So therefore, you're you and I am I. I'm not going to try to fight you, right, and tell you you're not who you say you are. If you are convinced that you are Christine Francois wellness coach, that's exactly who you are. But this big fight is happening. This huge fight is happening. You know what I mean? And I say people need to go back to the time and I don't want to go back to the time and we have separate big signs in the bathrooms. We do need to have female and male bathrooms because I don't want to go in a bathroom and see any man's organ that I don't know him. He's not my husband. I don't want to see his naked body. I really don't want to see that, right? And I don't want any man looking at me with my clothes off if I'm changing in a bathroom or using a bathroom. So we need to get some sense. We need to make things make sense. It's been happening, and I said that I was going to touch a subject, but this week was like, crazy. And there's some YouTubers, I have to criticize them. I listen to a lot of them, and I like them for many reasons. But they made one particular issue with one particular individual, a human being, let's call the person that, who got a big endorsement from Nike for bras. Okay, so in your mind you might say, why didn't a female woman get endorsement for the bra? But listen to me. I am not going to spend an entire hour, 2 hours talking about that. Because that's giving credence to somebody who, to me, as far as I am concerned, looking for likes. In the world today, everybody looking for likes. Everybody looking for support in the wrong ways. We're all out there wanting people to applaud us for all of the wrong things, all the morals and the values have gone through. That's Nike is a big rich company. They're not giving me one single dollar. And I, as a human being, can choose if I want to support them and buy something from them or not buy them. I don't think I need to spend 2 hours on YouTube talking about this individual who's looking for attention. And I recognize that there are some people who are afraid that they will lose their standing and lose their money, so they will do anything to stay there, right? But my Bible tells me that if I don't stand for something, I will stand for anything, and that means I'm like the wind blowing about it everywhere. I'm not going to be like the wind blowing about. I am going to stand for my principles. I have my beliefs. I don't have to say it out loud. I can speak about it in my own community in privacy. I don't need to go online and talk about it. I'm not going to bash anybody or condemn anybody because I am not God. If God was like that, a lot of us would not even be sitting here talking right now. Because God knows, we know that all of us have sinned and fall short, right? Because I said I'm biblical, I go by the principles of the word. So that's my beef. When I said the title for the day is like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Why is that a debate? Why are people taking these things and making such a big issue? Don't we have enough things to do? Don't we have enough work to do? Our lives were interrupted for 3 full years. Some of us, like myself, the money, the bank account saying some kind of figures that we don't like. The sign in front and have some others wrong behind it. and we try to bring it back and come back up from like get up from where we sitting. So let us live and let live. You want to be stepping around in a field of daisies, go right ahead, right? And if a young woman who's a swimmer decides that she was unfairly challenged in a race by somebody who she considers not to be a what's the word? A
Anatomical.
a fair competitor to her, she has a
Hmm.
right to say that. That
Correct.
person feels that it was right, that they should be there, and she feels that it was not fair at all. So she stood up and she said it. And she was cuffed in her face by a man wearing a dress. She was cussed and beaten, and she was put in a room and locked away for hours. She had to have security, and the police never came to that university. She spoke at for more than 3 hours because they didn't think it was anything. But maybe she had the right to say, speak the truth. Get beaten, get licks, and don't say anything. So that person has the right, and you don't have the right. All of us have rights. I am saying today that every one of us on the face of this earth have the right to stand up and be who we want to be, as long as we're not offensive to other people. I'm not going to offend anybody, right? I am not going to offend you. I try my best not to be offensive to people or to be offensive to others, right? I try my best to be nice to human beings. Because I recognize we are all flawed in one way or the other. None of us is perfect. But what I am saying is that I have the right to speak and say what I'm saying now, and you have the right to your um whatever your
Yeah.
thoughts are,
Yeah.
right? Whatever your thoughts are, and they have the right for their thoughts. And if you feel tomorrow morning when you get up and you want to be a flower in your garden, go be a flower in your garden. But do not beat up your neighbors because you get up in the morning and say you're a daisy, and they say, okay, because Christina today she's a daisy. All right, whatever. Leave people alone, but stop all the violence. There's a lot of violence, a lot of misuse of words. Candace Owens spoke about a young lady who was there promoting, I mean, plus size, whatever it was, and Candace was brave. She could say what she wanted, and because now the word fat is a curse, and as a wellness coach, you know, being too slim is not good. Being too heavy is not good. So she spoke on it because of this woman being an influencer. And she got on TikTok, man, and she called for criminal charges brought against her for saying that. Criminal charges and use all kinds of big words. And I'm like, really? Really? You could turn Candace Owens off if you want to. I like her. I tell everybody that. I love her opinion on a lot of stuff. When she starts to talk politics, I switch because I do not agree with her politics. When she started her politics, I switch off because that's my right. Doesn't mean I don't like her. It means I do not agree with her politics. So I don't have to stay and listen to her. So I switch off and go to something else because that's my right. As a human being, as a woman in this world, that's my right. So I am a woman. I'm proud of who I am, not interfere with anybody whatsoever, right? You live your life, you live your truth. Let me live my life, live my truth, and let things be. Not bringing religion on you, because religion and God are two different things. I will talk about God all the time because He's my source. He's the reason I can sit and talk here this morning because God knows I've been through it. I've been through it. I said like that. I've been through the valley. I've been through the pit. I've been through the fire, but I'm standing because I know that He has not left me. And like I said to somebody earlier today, I decided, you know what, in all of this turmoil, Cheryl, find a verse of scripture. We like to talk all kinds of stuff about God and stuff. But you know what? He has been made promises stuff, and this one of his promises to me. That's one. He has many. It's Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I am going to hold on to that for the next couple of weeks or months until what I am working on here comes true. Because God knows the plans He has for me. It's not plans to harm me, it's plans to prosper me, plans to give me hope and a future. And I know what my future is. And while I'm waiting, I'm praying for patience and I'm going to keep doing it. But I have to talk about this today. I mean, what is going on? What the hell, Christine? What the hell? Okay? And there's somebody listening. It might be somebody from YouTube. I hope it's somebody from YouTube listening to us to try to promote our channel a little bit. Please, please. Or if it's another subscriber, Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I welcome you and I want you to share with others, promote this channel. We only make sense here. We make sense here. We try to make it make sense. And the person just hopped off because I said that. So maybe it might be YouTube, right? Because they come in and they listen to know what they can promote. No, they do. Come and listen to see who they can promote, right? So we have people, we've been promoting some of my shorts, so I'm thankful for that. But I hope that more will happen, that they will begin to promote this channel a little bit. So Christine, take it away.
Wow. Girl, you said a lot. But what I can say to you is I'm in agreement with you with regard to our ability to speak our truth anatomically and in all other ways. I am a woman. Now, if you are anatomically not a woman and you want to say that you're a woman, knock yourself out. I'm not going to interfere with you. I'm not going to interfere with you. My mind is pretty much the same as yours on this. What I will say is that it is interesting that just recently you and I had a conversation about what we are seeing as an attack on maleness, on manhood. And you can't attack manhood without attacking that which was brought out of man from the Bible, right? So it is an attack on both sides. There is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of anger. We've just come out, as you said, from almost 3 years of being in some way, shape, or form, some kind of lockdown. People are hurt, they are struggling, they are angry, and they are finding all sorts of ways to destroy, and we know why, in the bigger scheme of things, not just man, not just earthly man, but the attempt to destroy that which God created and loves so much. So that is what I believe is happening. We are People are confused. I'm not confused about who I am. I'm not. But if there are people out there, I mean, like, yeah, you suddenly you can't say certain words, and unfortunately, for people who should know better, they are too promoting the people with the money. They're promoting this confusion because there is, I believe, an agenda. All right, there's always an agenda. We see just recently, I have this pop up on my laptop for the latest news. And over the last few weeks, every time, I start to work in the mornings, I would see it pops up and I see this person has died at the age of 18. This person has died at the age of 36. This person has died. And I'm saying, what the? So many young people are dying. It's almost as if, like, so why did they die? Heart failure. What? At 18? What's going on? We are a sick population, right? And the stress of the last 3 years, because stress is a killer, I believe, the stress is adding to whatever people were struggling with before. So some people may have conditions that they don't know about, but we've added 3 years of this intense, concentrated stress that is now showing up in all sorts of ways. So it's very, very heartbreaking to me to see what people are going through. But then we add confusion. And you know who loves chaos? Chaos and confusion. And the more the world is in a state of turmoil and chaos, it's the more joy for some, right? For some.
He who shall not be named.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
More chaos and I think I truly believe that we need to spend some time, we need to invest some time focusing on what is really important. What is really important? Our soul is really important. Lots of people don't invest the time to think about it. And yes, I guess when you're younger, you're doing all sorts of, physical things and maybe you don't pay attention. But the more mature you get, and again, I say this to the people who are supposed to know better and who are promoting the chaos, really need to invest some time because there will come a time when we are going to have to answer for all of this nonsense that's going on now. I was talking to a friend recently and he was telling me he lives in the States. He says it's crazy. He says rents are just going up out of the blue. Crazy. People are struggling to make ends meet because of what we've just been through. And and you could see this because I know you look at maybe the news networks a little bit more often than I do. But you're also seeing more unaliving at the nation, in the big first world country. You're seeing more of that happening in schools, little ones being unalived. Why? There is so much violence against children. So it's like I remember years and years ago, maybe when I was very, very young, people in our country thought that that country was the land of milk and honey. It's where they went to create a new life for themselves. That country is now a land of chaos. Chaos, total chaos. You never know what's going to happen next. So, Cheryl, people just need to stop. Just stop. Give. Remember, there was that song, is it Live and Let Live? I know with James Bond was Live and Let Die, but this is Live and
Live
Let
and
Live.
let live. Yes, yes,
Yeah. Within that same song, it talks about just
yes.
living and letting other people live.
Live.
Just allow people to live. Stay in your lane. Do what you were brought here to do. Do your best to live well with people. You have no clue the joy that your life could bring to somebody else's, and in turn, the joy that will come to you because you are giving other people joy. And first and foremost, find the joy in yourself, for goodness sake. Find the joy. Every day we get up, we didn't have to. We didn't have to. We could easily be 6 feet under. But every day we get that blessing to be alive and to make a difference for another 24 hours. Is it going to be hard some days? Oh, yes, it will. But are we going through some sort of gym in this lifetime? Maybe we are. But every day we get to live, every day we get to touch a life, every day we get to say, thank you, God, for this life. Every day we get to be a friend. Every day, some days are going to be hard. We reach out to our friends, our family members. And by the time we go to bed at night, we say, thank you, Lord. One more day. Look forward to tomorrow. But, I try as best as possible to the confusion that is being generated. And the other thing is, Cheryl, that just occurred to me as I'm talking to you here, is that, in the Bible, it talks about guarding your ear gate, your eye gate,
Yeah.
right? And we have to become, as a whole world, we have to become more conscious, more aware, and more vigilant about what we look at and who we listen to, a whole lot more vigilant, because the voices of chaos have become louder than the voices of peace and love and connection and beauty. They would like to because they have the audience. And the more chaos there is, it seems, maybe it's not so, but it seems as if more and more people get, join the bandwagon. Why would we hate on a young woman who's a swimmer, who traditionally would be swimming with other anatomically matched? I have to choose my words carefully, anatomically matched human body. It wasn't so long ago then when this was not. It wasn't so long ago, Cheryl, when this was not something you and I could even imagine we would be talking about.
As it saying that, you remember there was some a couple of years ago there was an African girl. She was girl, a female who was a runner, and because of her strength, I think she was born in sometimes. Well, I mean, I guess sometimes we can't. Our biology could be a little bit, it happens, right? And they found she had like more testosterone than a normal female or something like that.
Hmm.
I can picture her, and I can't remember her name. And she was literally taken off as from swimming in the Olympics. She was challenged. Even though she was female, she was challenged that at that point in time. So I haven't heard anybody bring that up again. I don't really listen to news. I listen to certain people who bring parts of the news. I can't listen to all that rubbish. Right? But she was I'm trying to remember her name, but she was an African, tall, dark girl. And she was a runner, an athlete in Olympics. And she was literally challenged, right? Because they felt that she had an advantage over the other female sprinters. And she was removed, and a whole lot of confusion, the DNA test and everything, and she was a real woman, all that kind of thing. And that was just only a few years ago that I can remember that. And now we have this challenge because this woman stood up and said, listen, I don't want to swim against with this person again. And there was a time, I think, when they actually had a race where they tied. And the promoters gave the trophy to the other person for the photography part of it so that they'll be more accepted. You got what I'm saying? So both of us ran a race, we won, we tied. But because you might look like somebody who would be more, what other people will say, okay, be more inclusive, they gave you the trophy and took the pictures with you and left me out of it. That actually happened to that young woman. And because she's like, I don't think, I haven't heard her say anything hateful. She's just saying, I think it's unfair. Why is all this anger? What is all this anger about? And you quite rightly said, nowadays, anger and ugliness. If we were a channel who came out here and cursed people and said who was ugly, and heard one this morning talking about Taylor Swift, she's having a series of concerts. I probably know one line out of one Taylor Swift song, right? But I know who she is, right? So I make sure I know I'm aware of certain things. And she broke down and cried at some concert because she broke up with her boyfriend. And I think that's his song she and the boyfriend wrote together. And all these Swifties came and they were so crying. And there was so much sensation over that. Now, it could be that the girl was just emotional because the song was emotional. I don't know what the song is about, right? But they took that. And that was on YouTube this morning. All over the place. Because I subscribed to this channel. So when I turned on my thing, I saw this pop up. YouTube shorted. And I'm like, really? Is that news on an Easter Monday morning? Is that news? Taylor Swift cried during one of her songs? How many singers while they're talking, they get emotional and they think. I have delivered keynotes. I have delivered speeches at things and got emotional because of the situation and the setting and maybe what I was saying to the thing and maybe somebody reacting in the audience and
Correct.
responding to me, right? So why is that something to put on YouTube? So you were so right when you said it is made up. People have to tell you you're ugly. Who are you? You're old. You're ugly. Your face like this. And they get there and they say that. And I mean, it's amazing how they think that they have the right to look at another human being that God created and tell them that they are. So sorry to cut you off. I just remember that girl name. I think Stephanie coming to mind. I'm not sure if that's her name, but I could see her standing on the podium. I could see her I could picture her in my mind. And I remember the challenge she went to. They did DNA tests and all kinds of stuff on that woman to make sure she was not a man. And now the same people are now endorsing someone who they know for a fact they don't have to do a DNA test, right? And someone whose social media says a lot about them. I haven't gone to look. I just listen to what the other people who I trust will say about what they've found on this person's social media posts. That they have this fetish about dressing in women's clothes and seeing women naked, right? So it's a sexual thing for them to be in a bathroom and changing room with other women, pretending to be something else. That's what comes across as. So that's why this morning I said that what the hell? What the hell? Something I thought I'll leave it alone, but I said, you know what, today and women, finish your thought and I'll go ahead. Women,
Yeah,
we need to stand up for each other. We are not doing that. Go ahead, Christine.
no, I agree
You
with
were
you.
saying something.
I mean, for for an act of violence against a woman, and it's so funny. Why aren't more women coming out to support this girl? Um, I don't know if women have come out in support of her, but we just got through, or we continue to talk about stop violence against women. It's a whole campaign. It's a whole campaign. It's a global campaign. It's endorsed by, correct me if I'm wrong, the Stop Violence Against Women is also a United Nations campaign. Yet, and I don't know all the facts, yet, here is a woman, like a real one, anatomically, being attacked by someone who's not anatomically a woman for simply speaking her mind. Where's the outcry? Where's the outcry of stopping violence against women? Now, that that just struck me kind of odd because we have got, come on people, get a grip. There are so many critical things in this world that if we don't get a grip on it, those things, we shall all perish. You know, we have got constant attacks by viruses, and they continue to come fast and furious. Toxins are increasing. We're looking at our environmental issues. We're looking at a planet where the actual Earth, is being degraded so dramatically that the quality of our food is not what it used to be. So people think they're getting the kind of nutrition that they should, but they're not. People are getting sicker. Water levels are rising. These are major global issues that threaten not just your life and my life, Cheryl. It threatens your children's lives, my children's lives, and you've got a grandson. So it threatens his life and those that he will have, you know? So and when you look at the bigger issues that are ahead of us, you can't help but wonder what is the agenda with these other things. I always talk about, and you and I have talked about this before, I always talk about sleight of hand. It's the magician. It's the magician who shows you what's in his hand. And he's going through his pieces, and you are like, oh, amazed. Oh my gosh, that disappeared. Or it appeared. but you don't see what's happening in the background. It's I read, when was it? Yesterday. I'm reading a book called by Anne Brashears called Here and Now, or Time and Again. I can't remember the name right now. Interesting time story about time. But in there they reminded me of this same sleight of hand where there's a lot of hullabaloo about particular issues, but the real ones that could be detrimental to us all, or that are detrimental to us all, is not at the forefront of our conversations. So we are blithely going along this path and not seeing that there's no bridge. You know, like in those movies, Cheryl, you've got this, and the car is racing along this drive, or this road, and about 2 miles ahead, the entire bridge is out. It's collapsed, and we are pell mell going because we are not seeing ahead. We're not focused on the right things. So, I mean, that's my concern, and also that our children are being manipulated to think, okay, so I'm gonna say it, rubbish. Get vexed at me, people, if you want to get vexed at me, but we are focused. Some of the things that are being shown to our children and our grandchildren, there's no right for them to be seeing that nonsense. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, social media is not going anywhere, so they will see the nonsense. That's all I've said about that. Nonsense will
Oh
be
yeah.
there. The
No, no.
onus is on us now to keep speaking about it, to keep talking about it. And that's why I'm so passionate about talking to women. Every time they open their mouth to talk about somebody who they look up to, you hear certain names come up. And I'm wondering, are those people paying you? Are you really certain that they are as happy as they seem to be, or they
Ah.
are standing as you feel that they are? Like all of the money that they're showing, right? You know, is it come from a good place? Did they really work hard for that money, or was it something that happened that caused them to be where they are? Did they sell some stuff, parts of themselves, to get what they have? And I'm not talking sex work here, so don't misconstrue my words here. But we know you can sell other parts, right? Your soul, your mind, other things to get what you want, right? Because the world is caught up in material things. There's a young lady I like to listen. Her name is Amala. Amala Okpanobi. I hope I pronounced her last name properly. Amala, forgive me. Beautiful young lady. She is strong. You need to subscribe to her channel. She's really good. Forced with her thing. She tackled a lot of topics in last day, some of the trans things. She was on that like white on rice. Oh my God. She was in their face. And she showed a clip of a roundtable discussion. And a guy was saying, one of the young men at the table was saying that he wants to find a woman. He wants to find a woman and make her his wife. I want to make her my wife. And this blonde bombshell one, my God, was so offended by that statement. Why make her your wife? What is that about? Why do you have to own her? And she went into a whole Spanish trying to speak to her. No, 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 no. I want her to make me her husband as well. She was not hearing that other part of it. She took that to be negative. That a man would say, I want to make a woman my wife, right? Another one was very upset because when they asked about the equity with the payment of a bill for dinner, right? And one person said, well, listen, I'm not saying I can't take a guy out for dinner. I'm not saying not. But I'm saying that the guy is supposed to pay you the man. That's what men do. They open doors and they do certain things. That's what I saw my father doing. and she was challenged a level. So you're right. We're not allowing men to be men. We're not allowing men to respect us. We're not allowing men to be men. There's a show I like to look at, Love is Blind. I don't know if you believe that Love is really blind.
Yes, I've seen
The
it.
first season was really good, right? This last season, there was a girl who, I mean, let me tell you, the truth of the matter, the guy who chose her, if I was a couple of years younger and living in America, and he asked me to go out with him, listen, he didn't have to ask a second time. Marshall, a cutie pie. He has the most beautiful eyes, nice up, and such a gentleman. I know why she decided she doesn't want to be with him, because he's not aggressive enough. She said that they don't have enough sex, and he's not aggressive in the bed with her. And he said to her, excuse me, I'm a gentleman, I'll never be aggressive. I'll always treat you like a lady. She said, well, I've never really had a relationship. And in my relationship, I feel I want X and Y and Z. And she walked away from that relationship. I felt it for him. God felt as though he was my son, not my son, because I like him. But brother, you know me? He is a nice young man. I mean, off my TV show, but from what he's portraying himself to be a decent human being. And I'm saying this is where women are failing. Because we want men, but we don't know how to accept male chivalry. A man treating us like a lady, a man who wants to do things for us, a man wants to take care of us. Do you think taking care of means being buying a box of KFC? No, that's not taking care of. That's not taken care of. No, we both working, we can merge our monies, we can pay for our house together, we can do all things together. But a man taking care, making sure I'm okay, respecting me, right? If my head hurts, he's there for me, right? We could make dinner together, and I will take pleasure in serving him his meal. As well, and he will, at another time, he will take pleasure in serving me a meal. That's how and it's not because of age. It just has to do with upbringing and your thought process. I love chivalry. I love a man to woo me. I love respect. If you respect me, you will always catch my attention. I want
Right.
respect. Respect in the way you speak to me, the way you smile at me, the things you want to do for me, things you want to do around me. I want respect. And a lot of women are throwing that out the door because they feel as though, they're independent and they have this and they have that. Things do not make you happy. We all leave things behind. You can remember people like Kate Spade, the lady who made the handbags, beautiful handbags. What did she do? All right. Everybody thought she was all right. One more we got look up news that she decided she didn't want to be on this earth anymore. Right? And there are many others like her who have gone on to remove themselves from this earth. Why? And these are women who had things. I'm talking about the people in this who had things, many others who didn't have, and because they felt they didn't have, they did the same thing. But I'm talking about those who are in the limelight, who we assume are happy, who we assume have everything. Yet they will get on a stage, perform for an audience, and pull their pants down and show the entire audience their butt crack and all. That to me is an unhappy woman. And if I had a daughter, I'd tell her that. And the young women and the other women who I mentor and I speak to, I say, listen to me. That is not an example. It's not even funny. Not haha funny, not the other kind of funny, no kind of funny. It is, I don't even want to say the word, but it is awful that somebody don't take her and say, sweetie, I love you. Let me help you get yourself in a better mindset. Rather than applaud her and say that she's confident. There's nothing confident about that. Nothing. That doesn't say anything about confidence as far as I am concerned. It said that there's something wrong with you. That you are performing and I said with a beautiful voice. She could play the flute, music, beautiful performer. Okay? But you feel the need to turn around at some point in that song, in that performance, and pull your pants down and moon the audience. And there's the all the supporters or the whoever it is saying that she is so confident about who she is. Really? Really? I don't understand that. And we have to those of us who have a voice and who have the presence of mind, we're not perfect, but we need to keep it letting our voices be heard. And that's the reason why I continue to work with women. Women,
Let me
you see behind
interject
me?
here.
That's why I continue to work with women. Yes, Christine.
Let me interject here. As you're saying this, somebody came to my mind and that I really admire. And I know lots of times people talk about you can't in today's age, you can't say someone is fat. You can't. All right?
Yeah.
Um, the fact is that some people are born bigger boned.
Yeah.
They're and that's just how God made them, right?
Right?
They're they're built to be heavier. And I remember years ago there was an entertainer who people thought, and she was a rapper, people thought that she was maybe on the heavier side, and yes, she is. But can I tell you, I have watched over the years this woman blossom, still
I know who you're
around,
talking about. I know who you're talking about.
multi
Love her.
billion-dollar mogul. She's not just an entertainer, she does movies. My goodness, I have looked at Queen Latifah over all these years, and I'm not talking about any kind of orientation. I'm just talking about I certainly can't remember, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, ever seeing Queen Latifah having to prove her level of confidence by by showing her body parts on a stage. I can't remember it. Maybe somebody can. I can't. But this woman has gone on to show women that you don't have to be teeny tiny. And there are women, because there's this young girl that I follow on social media, because she was talking about how she gets bullied for being so tiny, right? And she was just born that way. That's all. Some people are born teeny tiny, some people are born with a bigger build, but we have to love people no matter where they are. But this entertainer, coming back to this whole issue of I need to prove my level of confidence that I don't have a problem being a particular size. So the way that I show my confidence is by doing outrageous things. Maybe that's not the rationale. I don't know. But I'll tell you, this woman of stature who's gone on to
Yes.
become a billion-dollar, right, mogul, she is big boned. She dresses beautifully. She has come
Beautiful.
such a long way from back in the day. And she too talks about her feelings of insecurity when she was younger. But look at her today. She's an actress, a director, an executive producer. She and I just look at her and I think, wow,
Yes, yes, yes,
wow.
yes.
I really, really admire her. And there are
I'm a
other women,
fan, yes.
there are other women out there because I know when women struggle with their weight, and they do, either from birth, they're heavier, or it could be something happens, pituitary glands, whatever, and they have challenges. But I know that when the world says that there's this particular standard of beauty. I don't know about that because I can tell you, is it back in the 16 or 1700s or was it the 1800s when being voluptuous was the most beautiful? Those were the most beautiful women who were chased after, right? In Europe and so on. Even Marilyn Monroe was not teeny tiny. You understand? So cycles come. They're cycles of beauty. They come and they go. The important thing is knowing who you are, right? Staying as healthy, That's the word, healthy as you possibly can. And if your doctor tells you that if you continue along a particular path, you will not be here for how many more years, or after how many years you are going to be challenged, then just get healthy. Do not try to justify X, Y, or Z and allow people who are actually riding your money coattails to let you think that it's cool to be doing what you're doing, right? Because there are people out there, and we've seen it so many times. We've seen entertainers, sadly, who have been emotionally challenged, who have had their issues, but their people never say a word or don't push the envelope to help them to get healthier because they are depending on Mr. or Miss Moneybags, right? They're seen as a commodity. They're not a human. They're a commodity. They're a brand, and a commodity is not a human. You know, we have got to we have got to look at these folks in a whole different way and really address the issues so that they can be with us for a long time to come, live out their fullest potential. And that comes with good health and well-being. And well-being is not just about being a size 2 guys or ladies. It's about being healthy so that you can live a long and healthy life. So, yeah, I mean, she just came to my mind when you were talking about this other person. I said, wow, look at my girl.
No, she's a lady. She's a lady. She's a lady, and she's a good example of what growth is in life. Growth.
Yes,
Growth. I mean, Candice always is talking about Cardi B recently about that. She said Cardi B is now rich. Now she used to be a stripper. Nobody's faulting her for that. She came from that background, whatever it is. But now she's a multi-millionaire. It is time for her to understand that she doesn't have to behave in a certain way anymore. It's called growth in life. But maybe she hasn't reached that status yet because recently, Angela White, also known, aka Black China, was notorious for her behavior. I mean, her language, her behavior, her everything else. I did not know this girl was so pretty. She has found God and decided to change her life around and remove all of these fillers and all this stuff she had done to her body and go back to her original name. She's making a circle of television sets talking about her media, talking about her journey and what made her do what she's doing. She's now reverted to her name, her government name, Angela White. And I think that, some people might say, oh, it might be propaganda. Whatever reason she's doing that for, it is going to send a good message to somebody. Some young woman out there, or so many, may see that and decide, you know what? I prefer Angela White to Black China. Because all of that was, and I heard Nicki Minaj, our own Trini girl, talk about the pressure she was under as a young artist from some of the other guys, Lil Wayne and whoever else, telling her that she need to look at Lil Kim's behind and look at everybody else thing, and she didn't have enough, and caused her to go and do all of that crap she did in her body as well, right? And the fact that she's talking about it, it means that she has her consciousness is now awakened. So she
yes,
is also, and I am so happy because there's something called growth in life, and that's why Christine, you and I will continue to do the work that we're doing. Doing wellness. I also about personal branding, and I always tell women, if I come before you talk about personal branding, you know that I'm coming to talk about your clothes first, right? I will touch on it. I will sit up for the presentation, but I'm gonna go all in for you and talk to you about what a personal brand really is. A personal brand is not something superficial. It is
that's
not just a color. It's not just the way you speak. It involves every single thing about you, and we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful about who we create, how we put ourselves out there, how we put forward ourselves, and that's why I continue to do that. And that's why I'm so thankful. So making a plug here now. For you being a part of Becoming Good too next month. It's almost just like a month and a few days
Yeah,
away from that conference. Where we going to talk to women about empowering themselves, walking in the power that they have. But walking in the power means eating right, exercising, having the right mindset, having a spiritual foundation, dressing well. It encompasses every single thing about them. It's not just about one thing, not what getting likes on social media. It's nice when people like, I want people to like my video. I want people to follow me on YouTube. I want to build a following on YouTube. But that's not my life. If it doesn't happen, I will believe that it is not God's will. Because whatever I do, I said, God, your will, not mine. So why am I
that's
asking to subscribe and like and share with your friends? If it is not His will for me to become one of those profound, prolific YouTubers, then it is not His will. But I will continue to use my voice. He's given me a voice, and He's given me a ministry to speak to women about who they are, right? So what I don't preach of the Bible, I quote scriptures, but I don't preach. What I do is I speak to women about becoming a whole woman. We are powerful beings. And because we are being challenged now, we need to stand up a little bit more, get on our
correct.
podiums and let our voices be heard in a respectful way. Let our voices be heard. Stand up for who we are, who we believe in. We have to believe in something. We cannot be swayed by every wind that passes. I don't care how much Kim Kardashian inject herself with diabetic, whatever it is, to keep herself up eating and to lose 20 pounds in a week. I don't care. If she wants to damage her inside, we all have organs. And no matter how much money you have, you cannot buy organs. You know that? Because there are many people who would be alive today if we could repair our organs from inside with money. Right? People could remember Telly Savalas, Kojak, remember him? He died
Yes,
many years ago of cancer. I loved him. He would have been alive today, turning into a wall or a big rock on this earth because he had money, but he died of cancer. Patrick Swayze died pretty young. Nice, sexy factor, dirty dancing. He died. If money could have kept him alive and fixed what he had inside of him, would have. So people have to realize that money is good. The Bible said that money answereth all things. Answereth things. You can pay for your goods and services. Listen, I know about that. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have $1 to pay for anything. I wonder how I'm going to make it. I just go to God. So money is important, but it's not the be all and end all of life. And we have to realize these people do these things just for money and for fame. And fame is fleeting. Fame passes away, right? They could go back to Elvis's house a million times and have all these things, have all these facts about Elvis. Elvis is not alive, right? He's not. They can talk about Michael Jackson all they want, right? He's not here. His money could have kept him alive. He lived a very unhappy life. Because I know people who have more close, I mean, like really close to him, like ring and finger to him. I happen to know those people personally. He was not a happy man. All that money and all that he had. So what I want to tell women is that let us be aware of what's happening around us. Be aware that we are being challenged, right? With respect to the others, 100% respect to them. Don't disrespect to them. Turn a blind eye to them and let us support each other a little bit more. But do not let them get the platform to come and say, right, that they that we are challenging them just because we say we are women and just because we say we want privacy in our, my British friend will say privacy in our bathrooms. We want our privacy. I want my privacy. I want my privacy in my bathroom. I don't want a man handing me a tampon under a bathroom stall. I don't want you in my business because you have not had a period. You have never had menstrual cramps. You have never had to stay home from school for 2 or 3 days. As a teenager, when the stomach hurted that much and the mother was making all kind of teas, give it to drink and anointing your stomach, better feel better. You did not feel that. I felt it. You did not give birth to lie on a bed for hours and push a baby through a good canal. You did not experience that. So you're not me. You cannot be equal to me. Like, what I don't want to be you either. You're who you are. I respect you. Go ahead, hop along in your daisies, say what you want, do what you want. But do not challenge me and tell me that I cannot say I am a whole woman that God made, and I'm proud of who I am, proud of who I am. Christine, we're gonna close our fair. Say what you
Well,
need to say,
my
and
darling,
let's yeah.
you've said it. You said it all in actually the very best way, because to be a woman is many things. We get we get to give birth. We we get to bring new life to this earth. But we don't do it by ourselves. We do it because we need men, real men. We don't do it by ourselves. We need real men. That's the way God made us. So we can only give birth with our eggs inside of us when a man, real man, helps to fertilize those eggs. Guys and ladies, we need each other. We need each other. I don't want to be you, never have, never will, and you shouldn't want to be me. If you want to be a version of a woman, go do your thing. Live and let live. But
Enjoy.
as
Yes.
I but as I allow you to live, you have to allow us to live. All right? It is only fair that we get to have equal say. So, folks, that's my take on it. Cheryl, thank you so much for inviting me to have this important conversation, because we are under attack. That which God created and absolutely loves, because, guys and ladies, He loves you. He does. He does love you. That which God created, that He loves so much, is under attack because we, no matter what you call yourself, are hated by the other side. All right? We are hated, and it will find all sorts of ways to destroy what God created, which is beautiful, male and female. So just bear that in mind, live and let live, and I guess we'll see you next week.
And that's all we have to
We have
say
to say
about
about
that.
that.
Right. But before I leave, I want to remind ladies that we have the conference coming up on the 30th of May at the Cascadia Hotel, Becoming Hood 2. Let me tell you something. For 390 TT dollars or 55 US, you cannot get a better deal for a better day. It's the day before Mother's Day, and I have my beautiful friend Gail Rennie Moss flying from Maryland to come and grace her presence, her beautiful voice to ground us in the morning period with poetry and everything else. And she has so much more for you all. And then we have Michelle Nicola, who's going to come and speak to you all and motivate you all to live a better life, shift your mindset to get to a better place in life. And we have Sherian, who's a dynamic force when it comes to business strategies. And she's going to share her life story with you and will make you realize that all things are possible. Then you have me coming to talk to you about personal branding. And remember, not coming to talk about the closet. I will talk about a little bit of that too, but we're going to talk about holistic personal branding. So you're going to get some one-on-one, but you're going to get some stuff from me. We have dance, we have fashion, we have lunch, we have afternoon tea. We have the beautiful Christine here as one of our exhibitors. She's at the wellness. We have other exhibitors as well. Uh, I will leave the link below this video here for you to go check it out and see exactly how you can register. Now, I am working with the hotel's protocol. So when the room is full, that's it. If you know you want to come and you have a challenge checking out before the end of the month, please send me a message at 868-750-184. Send a WhatsApp. I will respond to you. promise you I'll get back to you. Let me know that you're sure you want to be there, but you can't check out like right now. You can't pay up right now. Because when the room is full, it's full. I cannot bring anybody else, and I've got to go with their protocol and with their, I mean, with their rule. I believe in following the rule of law. Okay? So I'll see you all next time on the same channel. We have another good discussion. We'll be talking about it again. Right, Evan? That's that. That's all I have to say about that.